Our expedition, which took start in the village of Sangardak in Saurashtra district of Surkhandara region, is getting over. During the ancient road from Sangardak village to Kashkadaria, we showed its nature and natural heritage. Now we have the last destination, dinosaur footprints on the rock of Kalaishiran. In the last episode of our program, we ended the topic when we went down from Zokshahona mountain pass. We are about to start this episode from that point.
Qadim avlod ajdodlarimiz o'tgan yo'ldan
We planned to walk through the path which our ancient ancestors passed. No matter how hard it was, but we did it. I mean, we managed to reach to Kashkadaria. And once upon a time there was a great Silk Road through this road, and from here people reached their destinations on horseback, donkeys or on foot. Trade flourished, but there were no asphalt roads as there are now. Our goal was to follow in the footsteps of those ancestors. To do this, we had to cross many passes. We have reached our destination. I think we have done the task for 90%.
90%ga yaxshi bajardik.
As we descended the pass, we had a bit rest on the edge of the ravine. The sun is appearing! The sun! In the meantime, the rain has also stopped. Now the sun is shining. Within half an hour, our clothes, which had been soaked in the rain, also dried up. A moderate amount of sunlight is necessary for human health, part of vitamin D, and a slight raining is only beneficial. But a slight excess of light can have an immediate effect on the skin and hair. This is the last part of the Kalaishiran Gorge. We came here through this gorge. Look at the height of these mountains. We descended from even higher mountains. It's hard to imagine, but it's snowing on those hills now. Actually, it can be said that this expedition has a more scientific and educational character. Most importantly, it will make a significant contribution to the development of ecotourism and extreme tourism in Uzbekistan. This expedition road is quite complex because for the first time we walked from Surkhandara to Kashkadaria region. Along the way we saw with our own eyes the wonders of nature, historical, archaeological monuments, ethnographic materials, and these required great skill and physical strength from our cameramen. It's very important for Uzbekistan to preserve both natural and cultural heritage. It should be noted that a mountain road connecting Urgut, Saurashtra and Dinau districts descends from this road. This is a very big result, because we will have the opportunity to show a new image of Uzbekistan to our tourists passing through our mountainous areas. From the place we are standing on, a rock with dinosaur footprints can be seen. Yes, that is it. Only the traces themselves aren't clearly visible. Now we have to walk through this gorge and go to the rock where it is visible. These places used to be the sea. This is the end of the Kalaishiran river. As you can see, there are 75 brothers rocks on the right. There were 35 dinosaur footprints on these rocks because dinosaurs used to walk there at that time. When these mountains started to grow, they were in a state of sand and they also had a lot of water. At that time, they were footprints of dinosaurs walking there.
Keyin vulqonlar ko'tarilishi natijasida tog' paydo bo'lgan. Shu qoyada 35 ta iz qolgan.
Luckily, it stopped raining just before we got here. Otherwise, it would be very tricky to climb the hill from the muddy and slippery roads. In front of us is a legendary gorge with sealed dinosaur footprints. We are very proud of that, but we have some sadness in our hearts because we are at the last destination on our expedition along the ancient road. Here are the dinosaur footprints.
Ikkita dinozavr izi yonma-yon o'tib ketgan.
Two dinosaur footprints stand side by side. There is a distance of 2 meters between the two tracks. The length of the front and back legs is 170 and 2 meters. As a result of soil erosion, those layers opened up and dinosaur footprints began to appear. There are now 35 footprints left. If the upper part of the mountains are also subject to soil erosion, the dinosaur footprints above can also be unearthed.
O'sha izlar yuqori Zohshaxona og'asiga qarab chiqib ketgan.
There are 23 deep traces of a giant creature in Jurassic limestone along the valley. They are clearly and distinctly visible through the bumps of the claws left in the stone, the places of the deep sunken nails. The footprints are half a meter long and 45 centimeters wide, with a distance of 1.5 meters between the steps. The tracks are finished in 2 pairs. From this volume, it can be concluded that the huge lizard, which was 14 meters long, had 2 legs and a long tail, like a 2-story house. Imagine its weight for yourself. No one knew until 1978 that these footprints were dinosaur footprints. In 1978, a professor from Moscow University named Ratzi came here. He was a geographer. That man came and said his thoughts on these. For Central Asia, it was an unexpected discovery. According to research, the dinosaur that left these traces lived about 140 million years ago. Easy to say, but it's too long period, right? The territory of Uzbekistan is one of the areas inhabited by dinosaurs. For example, there is a large desert called Tasharman in Navai region. American scientists found many dinosaur bones there. Now they are kept in the Zarafshan Museum. In addition, dinosaur bones are kept in the department of the National University of Uzbekistan. Here we see the traces of dinosaurs. The period in which dinosaurs lived here covers a much larger chronological range. Once upon a time, these rocky mountains were the shores of the Tethys Sea, bordering the Indian Ocean. It is assumed that tectonic changes have caused this coastline to remain at an altitude of 2,000 meters now. Palatiaran dinosaurs lived on the shores of the Tethys Sea. Traces give opportunity to such fantasies. These traces in the middle of the 13-kilometer road from Amir Temur cave to Tashkurgan caused the spread of legends about Hazrat Ali's horse Duldul among the locals of Tashkurgan. Did Amir Temur, who lived in the cave for a long time, see the traces of Duldul? It's hard to say anything about that. However, this myth does not, of course, disprove the scientific hypothesis about traces. Can you imagine dinosaurs lived on this land millions of years ago? but they became extinct en masse about 66 million years ago. The impact of a giant asteroid on what is now the Gulf of Mexico killed at least 75% of the living things on Earth at that time. According to geologists, the impact of an asteroid was equal to the power of 10 billion atomic bombs. As a result, the hot land turned into a desert. Thousands of miles of surrounding forest were burning to ash. Huge tsunami waves, several hundred meters high, created huge floods within a radius of 2,000 kilometers, and on their return washed away everything in their path, including thousands of cubic meters of soil. As evidence of this, scientists point out that remnants of soil fungi found in what is now the state of Illinois in the United States have also been found at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. Remains of wood turned into pistachio coal were also found in samples taken from the bottom of the crater. When the asteroid struck, the sulfur inside the sulfur-containing minerals evaporated due to the high temperature, and large amounts of sulfate aerosols were released into the atmosphere. Initially, the air was unfit for breathing. Then, dark sulfur covered the entire atmosphere, shielding the Earth from the sun. Experts estimate that 325 billion tons of sulfur were released into the atmosphere at that time. As a result, the surface of the planet, which did not receive enough temperature, cooled sharply in just a few months. Because of this extremely low temperature, Cretaceous period, now known in science as the Paleogene mass extinction, lots of living creatures died. All the flying dinosaurs were first victims at the time. For comparison, the amount of sulfur released into the atmosphere at that time was 4 times more than the amount of sulfur released into the atmosphere from the Krakatau volcano in Indonesia erupted in 1883. Due to the Krakatau eruption, the planet Earth became very cold for 5 years, and only in the 1890s the temperature returned to normal. Scientists have concluded that the main reason for the complete extinction of dinosaurs after the catastrophe caused by the asteroid was the sulfur that evaporated into the atmosphere. Perhaps the collision has further increased the activity of volcanoes on our planet, and as a result, the release of sulfur into the air has intensified. We continued on our way after shooting the dinosaur footprints. Now we are at the point where the Kalaishira River joins the Great Red River. We had a light snake by the river. This is the end of the Kalaishira Gorge. If you remember, we saw a big rock on our right-hand side on the Sukandara side of the Harkust Hunt. There is a blue lake in front of this rock. The Kalaishira River starts from there and is 18 kilometers long. After a short walk to the right at the confluence of the gorge and the Red River, we came out in front of the reserve staff waiting for us. After seeing them, we all got in the cars. We walked along the river towards the forester's house. We arrived at the destination about 20 minutes later. And here our expedition along the ancient short road from the village of Sangardak in Sarasa district of Surkhandara region to Kashkadaria has ended. We had lunch with the staff of the reserve. Then we said goodbye to our companions, thanking them for their guidance during our wonderful trip. The hardship along the way seemed to bring us all closer. That is why it was more difficult to leave this place and our friends. Our leaders who came from Surkhandara to Kashkadaria were also open-minded people. We will not be able to forget these moments, these sincere faces for a long time. Amir Temur Cave, Hokusburu Waterfall, Dinosaur Tracks, they belong to the Kizilsu section of the Gisar State Reserve. Our territory consists of 31,000 hectares, where 9 state inspectors and 1 department work. Our goal is to preserve the nature here, to pass on the natural monuments to future generations. As this place is a mountainous area, it may rain in June, and there were times when it snowed in August. Now we will go to Shakversabas through this cave. This time we not only enjoy the beauty of nature, but also grew up as individuals. There is every creature or phenomenon here that encourages people to think, to learn. Look at the Kalaishirang Gorge. Its water doesn't fill the gorge and flow, right? But for thousands of years, this stream has flowed to form a huge and unique tree. You saw the Amir Temur cave. It was this simple, soft water that eroded the underground rocks, drawing the shape it wanted, creating a beautiful cave about 900 meters long. So it can be concluded that if a person does not deviate from his right goal, overcomes the difficulties with patience and intelligence, and works for years, one day each of his works will become a wonderful work of art. All hardships will be forgotten. Most importantly, the beauty he creates and amazes others will become a normal daily affair. There is, after overcoming every difficulty, obstacle and hurdle, we will have a great experience, a great skill.
Biz bu ekspeditsiyaga 2 oylar mobaynida tayyorgarlik qildik. Chunki tayyorgarliksiz bu
We had been preparing for this expedition for 2 months because without preparation we could not go on such an expedition. On the way there were a lot of interesting and difficult moments. It was very impressed. When we first came to Amir Temur cave, it was very tricky to get to the end of the cave. Last time we couldn't get to the end of the cave because the middle of the cave was blocked. Our young colleague named Shahbaz took the camera and went into the cave. We were very worried about that. After that, another member of our expedition, cameraman, followed Shahbaz into the cave. Then our worries doubled because they stayed in the cave for a long time. About half an hour later, it was as if a voice came from them. After that, we were relieved. When they went out and told about the process there, we forgot all our worries and fatigues.
Bu ekspeditsiya menga juda yoqdi.
I really liked this expedition. There were many difficulties because I was participating in such process for the first time. It was a very scary situation during the expedition. I had to enter the cave. I entered the cave with great difficulty. but I was amazed by the beauty of the landscape. I think that working together has made our work productive.
Menga ishimizni unumli bo'ldi degan umiddaman.
When we entered the cave, we realized that one of the celestial bodies we feel constantly throughout our lives is the sun, and the other is the moon. But we don't pay much attention to them because we are used to their existence. If a person looks at these two things from an exemplary point of view and studies them, he will understand the true wisdom. Here is the simple truth. The sun shines for us, radiates heat and light. The moon only emits light. Life in our planet depends in many ways on the harmony between man and nature. Therefore, we must be careful about the world around us, the flora and fauna. It is no exaggeration to say that Malaysia Gorge is one of the places of beautiful thinking and example, which is in harmony with the past, created from legends, preserves the stories of the great Amir Timur in his youth. The desire to return here and want its beauty won't give us peace for a long time.